Whether you've listened to me a bunch, you've read some things from TPI, or just heard the buzzwords in the golf industry about kinetic sequence, you've probably found yourself wondering exactly what it is. And really, it comes from biomechanics, and a kinetic sequence is a way to link several movements together to create a greater overall production of power or speed. So in the golf swing, the kinetic sequence is force into the ground with your feet, hip movement, followed by the pelvis and low back, upper back, shoulders, elbows, wrist, and finally club. So you have to go into that sequence to maximize power. So if I go to the top of the backswing here and I start with my hips, you see they lead, my pelvis comes next, everything else follows through, and I've got my hips way out in front until finally my wrists are going to unhinge and release at the ball, and that's going to be the kinetic sequence. So I'm going to let you see it from the other angle. Go here in the backswing, hips start first, everything else comes through, and then I'm making contact while my hips have led me out front and my hands are trailing behind. So one of the ways you can tell if you have a proper kinetic sequence is on the downswing. If you take the club to impact position, you should start seeing your left glute peek around to the camera before you make contact with the ball, or at least as you make contact with the ball. If instead you go to the top of the backswing and you lead with your shoulders, what you're going to see is the impact position here, your hips have not cleared, and that's going to zap you of a lot of power. So you really need to be able to put those things in the proper sequence if you want to maximize club head speed. So putting it in the golf swing at full speed is one thing, but if you don't do that, the question is, how do you do it? And there's a lot of different exercises, but whatever you do, you have to make sure they have one thing in common, that you're trying to teach your body to dissociate movement so that moving one thing does not cause the next thing to move at the exact same time. So I can do that here. Again, I know the golf swing, I'm here, I go hips, pelvis, shoulder, and then my arms come after that. So the first thing I have to be able to do is move my hips without my upper back moving, and move my upper back without my hips moving. Once I can do those things separately, I can start to give myself drills where I go to the top of the backswing and I go hips and hips and hips. And that's teaching me to lead with my hips. Then I can go hips, shoulders. Shoulders go back first on the backswing, then hips open up, hips back, then shoulders. And eventually I'm going to be up here and it's hips, shoulders, wrist, and I'm going to get that sequence solidified to maximize club head speed. So now, if you want to look at your own kinetic sequence, set a camera up, nice down the line view. First thing you want to see, where are those glutes at contact? Are they out front? Are you starting to see your left glutes peek around, at least for a right-handed golfer? Yes, great. Can you increase that difference and add club head speed? Or no, if you're not, start trying to figure out why. Now that can be a little difficult to tease out. That's why people like I exist. So if you're not seeing that in the video of your swings, let me know in the comments. I'm happy to follow up with you, send you an email, give you some drills to work on. Thanks guys. Hope you learned a little bit about the kinetic sequence. I'll catch you guys on the next video.